Hi everybody, this is CR number 31, helper video number 1. This will help you answer that word problem. It says Pedro opened his account with $710 and withdrew $35 per week. Maria opened her account with $570 and withdrew $25 weekly. In how many weeks will their accounts be equal? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to underline the question. And the reason why I'm underlining the question is because that's going to lead us to our let statement. It says, in how many weeks will their accounts be equal? So now when I go ahead and write my let statement, I know that I'm looking for the number of weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and label that with a W. So let W equal the number of weeks. All right. Now, what we can do next is we can find a unit rate. We want to know what the unit rate is, or what is the number that describes my variable W. Which of these numbers describe the number of weeks? Well, let's first talk about Pedro. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do Pedro in purple. So let's see. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to put a P here for Pedro. And I'm going to notice here that it says he opened his account with $710 and withdrew $35 per week. Well, if you're noticing there, I'm circling $35 per week because the $35 is what describes the weeks, or it's the unit rate per week. So that 35 has to go with the W. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the 35 and the W together. Now it says that he opened his account with $710 and then withdrew that amount. So if he opened it with $710, I'm going to go ahead and write the $710, and then withdrew means subtraction. So I'm going to go ahead and put a subtraction right there between the two. All right, we are done with Pedro. Now we have Maria. It says Maria, and I'm going to put an M here for Maria. It says Maria opened her account with $570 and withdrew $25 weekly. So which one of these numbers describes the number of weeks? Which one of these is the unit rate for how much they're withdrawing weekly? Hopefully you're saying $25. So the $25 goes with my variable W because the 25 is the unit rate for what they are withdrawing weekly. So where did Maria start in her account? She started with $570, so that's where it all started. So I'm going to go ahead and write that first. She withdrew $25 weekly. Withdrawing money means we're subtracting. Then it says, in how many weeks will their accounts be equal? So now I need to go ahead and figure out when will these two accounts be equal. So I'm going to put an equal sign between the two. Now, a lot of you go ahead and you do this. You like to draw the ladder, call it a wall, whatever it is. But if you want to go ahead and do that, remember the reason behind that is because anything you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And this is there to remind you of that. So I like to put all my variables on the left side, and I like to put all my constants on the right side because it just helps me to solve equations simpler. So in order to do that, I have to move this negative 25W to the variable side. Well, the opposite of a negative 25W is a positive 25W. Now remember, the reason why I'm adding 25W is because I want to move the entire term negative 25W to this side. I don't want to only focus on the negative 25. The whole term needs to move, including the W's. So that's why I am going to go ahead and add 25W to both sides. Negative 35 plus a 25W is negative 10W. Now remember, I still have 710 on this side, so I'm going to go ahead and write that in. And on the other side, I still have 570. And they have to remain equal at all times, so there's my equal sign. All right, my next step is going to be moving the constants over to the right side. Well, it's a positive 710. So to zero that out, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 710 from both sides. Now, if you do not have a calculator, you have to try to remember that first you ask yourself, do I have more positives or negatives? You have more negatives, so my answer is going to be negative. And 710, 570, and negative 710. Please use your calculator because I know several of you struggle with integers. So 710 minus 570, sorry, I'm even doing it myself, is a negative 140. There we go. I'm going to bring down the negative 10w on the left side. Remember, they're still equal to each other. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that up here so it's easier to work with. Now I only want to remove the negative 10. I don't want to move the w because I want the w here by itself. So the opposite of multiplication is division. And now I'm only moving the negative 10, and that's what I want to do. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. 10 divided by 10 is 1. So we have 1w, which is what I want. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. 140 divided by 10 is 14. I go back to my let statement to remind me of how I label my answer, and it's number of weeks. So 14 weeks. That's how long it will take until the two of them have the same amount of money. Good luck.